Welcome back to the program. This is Table Talk on Benue Television, and I'm glad indeed that we're here to talk about what the nation is facing at this trying moment. We are talking about the strive by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in fixing Nigeria. Remember, just on Sunday we had a meeting of Council of States, and that's where the entire think tank of the nation came together to ensure that they chart the way forward. The meeting was convened in the State Chamber of Media in Aso Villa, where the former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, as well as the former President Muhammadu Buhari, were in attendance physically. And then Abdul Salami Abubakar and other former heads of state were there virtually joining the meeting. Other governors like Similaye Fubara of Rivers State, Hope Uzodinma of the Imo State, and a host of other governors were part of the meeting. The SGF, that's a secretary to the government of the Federation, talking about Senator George Akumen, as well as the Chief of Staff, Gbaja Biamila, were all in attendance to look at ways where the Senate President was also there, lest I forget. And all of these great people were there to rub minds on how Nigeria will be great once again. And this portends the fact that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu wants to fix the nation. It's for this reason that we have invited our seasoned analyst and talking about good governance advocate as the person of Sam Agua, who is in the house here to do justice to this very important topic. My name is Japhet Kwahom. Now, distinguished Sam, I'd like to welcome you to the studios of Benue Television once again.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yes, anytime you appear in this bowler hat, I know that you are obviously ready to say the truth at all levels.
No, it's actually when I'm going to farm, I put it on and pose as a young man. Just it's not really about I know so much.
It's all right.
I will try.
It's okay now. So now you may have understood that some of the presidents, former heads of state, couldn't attend. President Olusegun Obasanjo was not there, and recently has been criticizing the government and the people of Nigeria for failing to fix the nation. And then we also had these other persons that I have mentioned that were present in the meeting. Now, to you, what does this meeting, what does it mean to you as a citizen?
It means many things to me, but mostly the positive side of things, because once in a while, Council of States meet. Sometimes they're the presidents, former presidents on their own also try to meet to judge or to talk and do some brainstorming.
Yeah.
So it's normal. And again, for me, it shows that President Tinubu probably needs to give some public flavor to efforts he's making. Yeah. Hey guys, my colleagues, please come. Or owners of, owners in code, owners of Nigeria, or the drivers of Nigeria, come, let's talk. It's high time we talk. So I think it's a demonstration, it's a political score, which is quite good. In terms of the nitty-gritty of the issues they might have discussed, naturally, even you in the media may not be so privileged into the fine details.
Yeah.
For the other presidents not coming, it's normal. Maybe they possibly might have sent apologies. It could be ill health. It could be just general indisposition and so on. I don't want to really attach any particular explanation to their not being or whatever. But I think basically President Tinubu is passing a message of this collectiveness in trying to arrive at the next steps. Because if you recall, the people in that room, virtually or not virtually, are the problem and solution of Nigeria. And I say problem in the sense that we have people who were also on the seat, President Tinubu is on. We have people who wanted to even be on that seat but are not. Some are governors now and are holding various positions and that. So in terms of what was discussed, maybe let me go further. First, if I were Mr. Tinubu, President Tinubu, I would have made everybody understand that, hey guys, we are the people that have messed up this country in various ways. Even if I was not the one that started it, I came and met it. The other one came and met it. Now I'm meeting it. So please, let's all be speaking with one voice. Let's stop this bickerings around. President did not say this. This is what happens. If you recall this recent controversy over the release of some 500 and something billion to states.
Yes, 575 billion.
A lot of things are happening. Some state governors have come out to say the manner the president painted it gave impression as if he gave them money.
Maybe the president was not supposed to announce.
No. All money spent in the country are known.
That's what it means.
No. Okay, maybe we are digressing, but I like the digression because I think the essence in announcing the money is, hey guys, every time you are talking federal government,
this is what
states,
I'm doing.
This is what I'm doing to states. Now, states came to say, yes, you did this, but this is part of COVID discussions, part of blah, blah, blah. Most of us spend this money you are now giving us also. Controversies around the money is a loan, the money is a grant, and all that. So when you hear those kind of things trying to come up, it tells you that the house is not trying to be together, it's getting a bit rowdy. So I think the president's meeting this time around is to try to calm this rowdiness. Remember, the president has on his hands this big crisis around. There's even a proposed 1 million march, or a lot of, actually, national protest has not finished. There's that moodiness around it that is being fed in pockets of places. So I guess it's a meeting to say, let's be on one page in fixing Nigeria. But in terms of the details of what they might have discussed to fix Nigeria, I wouldn't know. I can only assume that the president simply also brought out the many things he has put together for Nigeria, like he read in his broadcast, A, B, C, D, E, this is what I'm trying to do. If I do this, it will be like this, it will be like this. Stage 2, if you go do like this, and that.
Yes. Now, some Nigerians are saying that the Council of State meeting is coming a little late or behind time. It was supposed to have, come up.
No, sorry.
That the meeting was supposed to have had before the protest.
No, get something clear.
Yes.
The meeting is a demonstration of collectiveness. Whether it's a collectiveness to destroy or build, I know it is to build, but it's just giving a feel of collectiveness. Don't think that President Tinubu doesn't talk with the former presidents on a daily basis or regularly, or doesn't talk with the governors. There are conversations. But you see, in leadership, we've learned that there has to be visibility in what you do. I believe there might have been some quiet decisions they needed to take, so let's all come together and take them than speaking individual. I wouldn't say it's late or it's not late, because with the Council of State decision have stopped the protest. What is Council of State? Basically, we are still talking about Tinubu, even though, yes, it involves 36 states governors, it involves a lot of other tiers of Senate presidents and that. Technically, it is President Tinubu. At best, the National Council of State would have arisen with a resolution, if this heard before, saying citizens don't go on national protest because of A, B, C, and D. I don't see it coming any late. My concern is what is coming out of that conversation, that we either add value or be different, and I will not be hungry. How if that meeting addresses my hunger speedily, almost like yesterday, I will be happy. For me, that is key. Not whether it had earlier, it did not hold earlier, or something. No.
Well, I quite understand that this meeting is actually to chart a way forward for a greater Nigeria. Now, the next question for us to ponder will be, let's talk about the level of opposition on the presidency.
Yeah.
Do you think Mr. President is enjoying legitimacy that will help him, move Nigeria forward, or is stiffly opposed by former heads of state or president of the country, because he would need this collective support to be able to succeed. So what do you see? What do you say about that?
No, I think President Tinubu is not opposed per se, because if you even want to look at the prominent figures, apart from the letter writing president Obasanjo, who seems to be always out, making very critical comments. I really don't even see President Obasanjo's comments as opposition. He's just somebody who cannot keep his mouth quiet when he wants to say something.
Yes.
I can't say the things he says are wrong. No, they are not exactly opposition. It's just that he talks so strictly, so rigidly, so intimidatingly. To a level that it looks like opposition. President Tinubu has enjoyed a significant level of togetherness around the structures, even the opposition governors and all that. I think President Tinubu is suffering basically on account of these decisions he has taken of removal of subsidy and all that. Nigerians have actually largely forgotten about this issue of legitimacy, this issue of how he came to office, whether it was manipulated, whether it was not manipulated, because the courts have ruled on these matters, and we say as the court pleases. We are moving. So I think it is these decisions that have come out. So if at all something is happening, people are maybe getting reminded of how they feel hot that President Tinubu did not do this, did not win here, did not win there, did not do that. It's coming because of these latest decisions he has taken. Even though, yes, arguably, it's a product. What is happening to us is a product of years of that the locust and the canker worms have
right.
eaten up Nigeria.
Yes. So now let's also take a look at this. Shortly after this meeting, the president called on the youth for dialogue. Now, one begins to wonder, could that be one of the top recommendations? Because since then, we have not had a press, release arising from that as to what there was a communique or something was passed during the meeting. So basically, shortly after the meeting, the president actually called on the youth for dialogue.
Yeah.
Unlike before, when he would do a statewide broadcast and said, "I have heard you." Now he is ready to have them on the physical level to have conversations with them. So do you think this is also going to help, fix a lot of issues?
Yeah, you see, when these big men hold meetings, don't really expect to see a very clear communique or highlights of meeting the way I could hold a meeting with you at our local BAM or our local association in the village. There is so much that is said at these meetings that will not actually be reported. Remember, these are the let me use a spiritual word, not connoting. These are the principalities and powers of Nigeria. And they cannot, most of the things you hear are things that are just there for you to hear. They might have even fought in the meeting. People might have even indicted others. You can't see all those things up. I think President Tinubu has been conversing with the youths. The problem is that it has been a one-directional conversation, president to the youth. Like you see, the student loan fund technically is a conversation. Youth, I want you to go to school. I'll make sure it's easy to go to school. It's a conversation. There are a lot of structures. Incidentally, let me even expose myself. I belong to a citizens engagement group in the North Central that the office of the president has set up. Yes. And
so what are the conversations there concerning this matter?
Well,
now that you have exposed yourself, I need to give you a shot.
I think I created a problem for me.
Yeah,
but it's not really a problem.
What are the conversations towards the matter we're discussing on that platform?
No, what we have been discussing is basically it's a platform for what is happening in communities to be relayed to the office of the president through the senior special assistant to the president on community engagement in the North Central.
Yes.
I believe they are also in the other regions. So if you want me to narrow, I come from a local government, Vandikia. There are two of us, myself in the Tie part of Vandikia another in the camp part. What are we doing? We are pushing forward what communities are saying to the president. And you see, when we're talking about communities now, before the word communities will strike you of elders or stuff. My brother, if you go to villages now, it's almost as if there are no elders in the village. It's young people like you, youthful. Some of them are even traditional rulers. In fact, I know so many of people that were my juniors in school that I bow to them, chief. In various places I travel around. So these conversations are going on. What I'm trying to say is that there has been conversation, but it's more of a monologue until like what has come up now of engagement. Because what we do is we present every good thing that is happening in the communities forward. We present every bad thing that is happening, even if at community barriers, we are monitoring and sending reports, which is an engagement. Now you see, the president might have seemed to be alone in court. So calling the meeting and from after the meeting indicating now that I want to meet the youth. It's also a product of, if I sit in this meeting and I'm talking with the youth, they need to know that Nigeria met. The owners and shakers, the leaders of Nigeria have met. So I think.
So let me reincarnate this question. Do you think
maybe I miss it?
Yeah, no, you didn't miss it.
Okay.
That was a question I had asked earlier,
yeah.
And I would want you to buttress further on that. Let's look at the willingness of the past leaders of this state. Here, I'm talking about the Nigerian state, to help President Tinubu fix the country. Do you think their body language shows that they are willing to help the man fix the country? Because it's collectively ours.
For their body language, excellent. They have even attended his meeting.
Some other persons are saying that the meeting was poorly attended.
No,
you know how many heads of state we have had in the past.
You told me some people attended virtually.
Yes.
Some might have sent up. I don't want to believe most times National Council of States is meeting, attendance is necessarily full. Sometimes there are issues. I wouldn't know.
But don't you think this is patriotism? It shows that you have your country at heart. Yes.
I'm getting you to a point.
Yes.
Attending a meeting is a demonstration of our commitment to support.
Good.
Not attending a meeting does not mean, because we're not privileged now to know the conversations, whether some guy is in hospital. You know, most of these people are people that have one problem or the other. They are very comfortable people, but they keep visiting hospital too. Maybe on account of age, or maybe on account of certain things we may not know. They also have their discretions and so on, because they are big guys in their own right. But a meeting was attended virtually and otherwise. Who did not attend? So the body language is excellent.
Yes.
It is the spirit language I don't know. Except if you are somebody that is clairvoyant or you read palm history or me.
But you even have the the ability to discern even the.
No. If you want me to, I will attempt from an assumption.
Okay then.
Yeah, I want to assume only the body is with Tinubu, the spirit is not with Tinubu. Don't subject me to proof. It's discernment. You don't prove discernment. Discernment is your capacity to look at things from the fine thin lines. Because if their spirit is with Tinubu, I would have expected a number of them on their own strength to have issued statements also in the course of time supporting most of the policies of Mr. President, independent of staying under the Council of State.
Former head of state.
I didn't push that the way I want, but yes, you are the anchor, so
yes, former head of state,
Badamasu
Babangida.
Yes.
Has been making a lot of comments concerning the present administration. Even during the protests, he made, several comments. At a point, people had this feeling that he was calling for a military, takeover of governance. But at another point, he said he actually was not calling for the military to take over governance in Nigeria.
He was calling for what?
That's the confusion. And during the meeting, he was neither virtually in attendance nor physically in attendance.
We have addressed that, Jaffe.
No, we haven't addressed that.
I've told you that I may not know. Remember, this man is on the wheelchair.
We're looking at something, yes, of course, but he could. We actually empathize with our former president. I'm talking about Badamasu Babangida.
Yeah.
He was very active while in service. We acknowledge that.
Yes.
Now he's at home. once a military man, always a military man.
Yeah.
He has been there reeling out, press.
Okay, his mouth has been active.
Exactly.
His mouth has
and
been
now
active.
during the meeting, we couldn't hear of whether he was not attending virtually or he had something that would take him away from attending the meeting physically as well. So what I'm looking at here is that if the people are willing, these are the actors and players in the political theater of our country. And for us to have a resolution on what to do, they have to be on the table. Now, their absence, don't you think this connotes that some persons are not willing to help fix the country?
No, it's debatable, but more on the side that willingness is not necessarily around participation at such meetings. Remember, I have told you there could be many reasons. I don't know. Why I don't attend a meeting, only Tinubu knows. There's no big deal. Remember, I told you they don't report these meetings like we do in our local associations, where they will say apologies from. Even if they do it, they don't tell us members of the public. These people have access. Maybe IBB might have called the president to say, I will not be able to attend. Maybe I'm on some medication, or I'm this, I'm that, I'm that, and that. In terms of not attending virtually, I can't say. Because virtual, even if you're on the bed, they can tune something for you to be watching, even if you don't want to talk and that. If we overpush the point of poor attendance or not, for now, take it that the body language of the Council of State is with Mr. President. It is the spirit language I'm not clear. So let me even get to a point you were trying to drag out. Let us assume, in this case, that President Babangida, both in body and spirit, he's not with Tinubu, but I don't want to see it that way.
Yeah.
I want to see it from the perspective that conversations are on, things are being pushed forward, people are trying to see that Nigeria is fixed, even though they are just, for us on this side, they are rigmaroling over something that we think is very simple. So maybe when he also talks with the youth or whatever, whether he's talking with them out of fear, because recall President Tinubu actually has youth programs that are solid. I was just pointing to you the
NEL fund.
The NEL fund, and there are a lot of things he's doing, youth in agricultural activities and stuff. So I think basically, but remember,
we're due for a break.
Oh,
exactly.
May the break home.
Yeah, thank you so much. Let's go on a break very quickly. We will be back to continue with our discussion. We are looking at the strides by Mr. President, that's Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, in fixing the Nigerian economy and every other thing therein. Let's go on a break. Welcome back to the program. This is Table Talk on Benue Television, and we're looking at the Council of State meeting held recently by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, calling on Nigerians, past leaders, to help him fix Nigeria. He's also, ready to engage with the youths in a dialogue to be able to fix the Nigerian state back on track. Now, distinguished Sam Agua, you had talked variously concerning attendance of the meeting. I would want us to dwell on the merits and demerits of that meeting. Now, what do you think this meeting portends to the Nigerian people? Do you think it's capable of causing a turnaround positively moving forward? Because what Nigerians are expecting at this moment is for things to get to a point where they will have that leverage to breathe as citizens. Do you think this meeting is capable of changing the narrative?
Well,
or it's part of the steps towards addressing the problem?
You know, this is a 50-50 issue. The intention of the meeting is genuine, even though I also explained to you that President Tinubu needs this political visibility to prove to Nigerians that myself and former leaders were on the same page talking. Now, for a hungry man, the quick thing is, because we are planning a 1 million march or another march, the president is scared and wants to bring in all former leaders, blah, 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 blah. That could also be argued. People have to analyze and feel things the way they want. We are not privileged to this moment, and we may never be, to the details, nitty-gritty of the discussions. Was there something they also told Mr. President that may not be reported? Could any one of them have gotten up to discuss even the subsidy thing? Even in terms of saying, since Nigerians want you to remove, or since Nigerians want refinery to work, let them. Who said what and who did not say what, and what was it? Did they quarrel in the meeting? So yes, it's a 50-50 thing, but from my personal standpoint, these are meetings to give new directions, traditionally. No president of Nigeria may call a meeting or may call former leaders and the entire Council of State to just sit down and destroy Nigeria naturally. Okay. But the mood of the nation, there's no much respect typical citizens have around this meeting that I just had to them until we start seeing any change. So maybe when the president speaks to us as Nigerians again, and we begin to see things. Because see, so far as no refinery is working, no local production is on, you know, you are just boring. It's like you're just making us more annoyed.
And this,
so far as the price.
Thank you for giving me the leverage to ask this next question.
I bought fuel. Sorry, I must say.
Go ahead, please.
I bought fuel. I had a hitch. I bought fuel black market in the night, not deep night, at 1,300. Earlier, I had bought in the filling station at 1,000 naira. My heart broke. You are telling me National Council of State meeting. I will get to appreciate this meeting, even though I may not know the details of the discussions, when maybe I heard that, oh, next week it's 800, another week it's 600 per liter. It's going down to some level. So until these things happen, we will continue to see things in that light. But it's a good move for Mr. President to convince people, people that have both destroyed and helped Nigeria to be where it is.
Of course. Now, beyond this, I also want to remind you that recently the president had a meeting with Chukuman, Innoson. The
Motors.
The one with Innoson Motors. And just after the meeting yesterday, CNG buses were brought to Aso Villa, to be commissioned. And we will start using the CNG, made in Nigeria CNG buses. Now, these are some of the steps which we are seeing visibly that Mr. President is bringing on board. But having Council of State meeting and having a meeting with the economic actors of the state, which do you think is paramount at the moment? Because no, hold on. Now look at it. We have you have cited here clearly that whether we talk about all of these things, but when there is no production, we may just be wasting a whole lot of time. If we are not producing, we'll continue to be hungry. Nigerians are protesting this time because they are hungry. Hardship is in the land. So without these economic actors coming together to fix the country, the former heads of state are not business people.
No, don't go deep. I got your question. You're going deeper. Who
Go
told
ahead.
you they are not business people?
Go ahead, please.
If they are not business people, anyway, that's by the way.
Yes. How many
Listen,
industries
no,
do they have?
No, listen.
Yes.
The highest system in the world is the political system. Take it or leave it. It can frustrate the economic system. It can make the economic system work. Have this at the back of your mind. That is why the governor can get up now and tell us in this studio that the studio is no longer here. We are moving it to this. Or can get up and do a curfew and tell you that no, you cannot work from certain time to certain time, from what to what. The political system is the highest system in the world. So if you want to rate in terms of meet the economic people, meet the political people, I am good at if he has not met with man, what is it? Anyway, the manufacturing sector,
Yes.
I don't know how they are called, or has not met with the private sector, but is meeting with the political before he will meet with them, I'm good. Recall, in the typical monologue conversations, there are also good things Tinubu is doing. You know, he set up heavy funding in the manufacturing sector, which was both in his original document and in reality. I understand that 150 billion he promised that sector. I think they have started disbursing. You know, the sector trickled to his idea that in all the 775 local governments, he would push some specific interventions too. So when we are talking conversations, let's look at conversation both from the angle of
774.
That physical conversation and also a conversation that may not be physical. There have been series of meetings the president's men are holding with manufacturers, blah, blah, blah. On the CNG innocent buses, well, commendable. But personally, I don't buy all this CNG stuff. Because to me, it's looking too aesthetic, too cosmetic for me. I want refineries to work. Let's begin to see that in reality.
Then where the refineries are not working, don't we have to go for an alternative?
No, you're not getting me. There has to be an alternative. The alternative, if it's a phase 8 measure, I'm okay with it. Do we burn down our refineries simply because new buses have come, electric buses have come, all those CNG buses have come? Do we say that, okay, we are done refinery, we will keep? Because technically speaking, what it may take us, 200 plus million, to go on this electric car conversion, electric whatever, electric, I wouldn't know the figure, but how about, why can't we just ensure that what we were doing is working for us? It's like you telling me now that before I would do irrigation, I will have to come and lay pipes and put boreholes and put big structures. It's correct. But I can start my irrigation on the size of this room from my well. That is the point I'm trying to say. Good thing, it's not bad. They will come, they will help us. But then the issue is the same people who have seen it all in the oil. Because every president in Nigeria is actually a minister of petroleum, who have understood the politics of oil, are suddenly now, for whatever reason, trying to close oil from public glare and talking about, I know it's a compressed natural gas vehicle and all this stuff thing, but let me not come and sound too
I'm even tempted to ask you, how much of the politics around the refineries do you know?
No, I'm not in the sector, but what I know is that it's been politics from day one that Nigeria started producing oil. It's been politics. It got worsened as time went on when there were manipulations around. Some people will not lift, but they will come and sign papers and collect money and go and that. So, to me, why is that wuru in that arrangement not sorted? Nobody talks it and so on. I'm expecting the president to come out now to say categorically that, okay, refinery is going to work like this. This is what is going to happen. We produce locally. We do that. Is it that there's a problem with local production, but there's no problem with the production that is done elsewhere that will bring in? So I don't want to go into that. Now you can appreciate how Nigerians are seeing the National Council of State meeting. To them, they are not understanding it. Yes, the buses are good. push money into irrigation agriculture, fine. They are sending first aid, maize, corn, gari around, fine, good. But the question again, you are the person who was talking about production, meeting with manufacturers, blah 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 blah, which I believe these conversations have been on. Let us begin to see to it that maybe before end of this year, some 1, 2, 3 things are produced in Nigeria, and we have stopped their importation.
It's okay.
Practically, it could be a simple thing like even this.
Let's bring the words of late Muammar Gaddafi to the table now, when he posited that a country that does not produce and a country that does not have security is non-existent. I don't know whether you were able to capture these words by late Muammar Gaddafi, and sometimes when I look at that and compare the situation to the Nigerian state, I begin to wonder if late Muammar Gaddafi had seen the Nigerian situation ahead, because production is not happening, security is quite porous, and for these two to be absent, tell us about the hope Nigeria has in the next few years.
It seems you brought me out to embarrass me, sort of.
I don't mean to do that.
Yeah, because you have touched on what will bring out tears from my eyes as someone with relations with friends who have been displaced. Some in the last 10 years have been displaced 3 times. What do I mean? They will go back, they will be displaced. They will go back, they will be displaced. Insecurity. A friend of mine on some road had issues, had to pay his way out. You hear these stories and that. I don't believe in attributing meaning to maxims. That type of thing Gaddafi said in absolute terms, though they are real. Because once you don't have security, once you're not producing, what exactly are you doing? Now, let me try to come in the middle ground form. The greatest advantage we have in Nigeria is that we are agrarian. An agrarian-rooted pedestrian economy hardly breaks down. You could suffer drought, you could suffer whatever, but it will hardly break down. So that is able to push us forward. What insecurity is even threatening right now, because you cannot also farm effectively across most parts of Nigeria because of one problem, either local gangs or whatever they are calling themselves, banditry as they call it. So yes, we are progressing. I'm not here to dampen the hope of Nigerians. There is interventions coming from the federal level, from the subnationals, from even amongst individuals, community members, trying to see to it that we forge ahead. Let me digress by saying I plead with the government to ensure every enabling environment necessary to make us farm. All season farming, all that be made available. Let's move forward. I don't want to come here and just castigate.
Yeah,
that,
but you see measures in place.
No, of course.
Because we have to capitalize on what is being worked out.
Tinubu is not zero.
Let's be practical about what we are saying here, distinguished Sam.
Yeah.
Take a look at the Benue situation.
Yeah.
You would rightly understand that for, let's say, in the next past 10 years, Benue people have not been able to farm up to 30% of what they were farming in the past.
Exactly.
Benue State cannot pride itself as a food basket of the nation anymore. Nigeria knows that this is a state that circulates food to every nook and crannies. And this has never happened for up to a decade. Security arsenals have never been deployed heavily to Benue to see that Benue people at least have 1 year to go to farm massively and have yield coming back from. What is the future and hope of this state? And if Benue State cannot smile as it used to be, what becomes the future of other states that are depending on Benue to feed them? And this spans across the 36 states.
Listen, for those of us that work in villages around so many places,
yes,
insecurity has ransacked, has destroyed so much. Let me also tell you on authority, because even last month I was in a part of Benue that has been very, very insecure. Some pockets of hope is also coming. not very drastic, but a lot of people are able to go where they never used to farm before.
Yeah.
Why some may also still not be able to go in some parts. I think what we can do at this stage as Nigerians, without hurting anybody, let's try to work towards, we as communities and government, trying again. Let's not look at these 10 years, 15 years of trauma we've been facing. Let's try to work towards seeing to it that gradually we keep working towards eradicating this insecurity. For production, I earlier mentioned to you, government, even if you can't, step up more these efforts you are putting into agriculture. Let us ensure that I can work, I can crop 3 hectares of land in the safe places, while we are making efforts to secure the unsafe places. If I try to analyze the damage of insecurity to food production and all that, I will just weaken members of the public. Let's take advantage of the fact that President Tinubu and most of the state governors have come out with programs. We are hoping they are pushing. You know, things that are very endemic, let me be honest with you, it's not easy to push them away. You see what oil has dealt with us, whether subsidy or no subsidy. When it was happening, they say corruption was involved. Now they say it is removed. Corruption is involved, and so I think largely there is some direction to progression. I'm not impressed by it generally across the nation, but let us as Nigerians begin to see to it that let's continue working together. Remember what is happening now. Let me tell you what will shock you. It has not happened to me directly yet, but it happened to me many years. Another problem we are having as farmers is theft of our farm produce. I mean, not produce, our farms.
So don't you think it's as a result of hunger in the land?
No, whatever is as a result of is also another issue. Because the person stealing could be stealing to go and alleviate hunger. The person stealing could also be stealing to go and get money. The person stealing could also be stealing to make sure that you don't have money. You should also stay hungry. So you can see that there's a lot that is happening that is beyond the general broad insecurity that we also know. This one is so painful. It's the one that is happening to you in your family and around your village. You go and discover that you have a 1 hectare yam farm and somebody has dug out 100 yams already. Or some rows of your maize is gone already. Now, if government is suffering us, let me use that word, we come again now and want to suffer our fellow citizens who are struggling. You go and catch my goat and sell. You go and destroy something that belongs to me because we are hungry, we'll turn around and blame government. Please, Nigerians, if you are listening to me, yes, government is responsible for all this to give us security, to give us everything. But let's not sit down and wait that we keep singing government is responsible and we destroy ourselves. If we don't do something and we keep calling government, government will come and go and come and go and come and go, and we may still have the same problems we have. Because if you look at it in reality, the challenges in food production, because we missed it long ago, because we have allowed corruption and a lot of things to happen, anybody, that is, you see why, part of why I'm very sympathetic to Tinubu. Not that I entirely like that, oh, Tinubu, you are good in this, good in this. I am aware from knowledge that it will take some while to get there. And I'm appealing to us members of the public. Sometimes let us carry on as if there is no government. Not in terms of lawlessness. Let's try to carry on in a manner that we are in charge, we are that unit of production or that unit, that hub. And we are a bit like self-governing. I'm using these words not from insurrection or so that in that way, why can't we try to cut off certain things? Like I keep saying, there is no community that does not know its bad boys. But nobody has the guts. So how will the security now come and just identify me, Sam, as a bad boy? Because of so many concerns, fear of this, fear of that, even the government too, compromises here and there. Let's move beyond these conversations now and begin to see how collectively we can fix things.
Very well. Now you have also reminded me of another thing that we quickly need to address. The president recently was visited by the group called the Patriots.
Yes, Emeka Anyaku,
yes.
former Secretary General.
Oh, yes, of the Commonwealth.
Yes.
Now, they made very beautiful recommendations to Mr. President that what Nigeria needs to do to be able to sustain itself is to completely abandon the old constitution and bring to the table a new constitution that will be people's oriented. And they are also calling for a constitutional convention where all the Nigerian stakeholders will come together and tell the people what they want to be done. Now, I was trying to look at this in the past episode. I was looking at it. We have had a national confab in the past. 2014, very beautiful document has been abandoned. Why it was abandoned is what we do not know. We also recall when President and former President Olusegun Obasanjo had a convention, but gave a condition that's upon when they will give him a third term. And part of the reasons it didn't work out. Now they are still calling for the federal government to come up with another convention. Do you think truly what Nigeria needs to change will be the constitution, or is it people that will need to change?
Both. The constitution, is my opinion. Actually, what you see is a monologue. No Nigerian ethnic nationality sat and agreed to have this constitution, because it came the manner it came. National Assembly in and out keep working on it, keep remodeling it. Something 1999 constitution has amended. They keep doing that process. I agree almost 100% with the patriots. But I also like what President Tinubu told the patriots. He told them they have raised very germane issues or concerns. But he wants to see how he will address your hunger and my hunger first. Because if we go to the table in these conversations of things not working, we may end up with a product that may turn out even more dangerous, and we'll say we regret why we even tampered with what we have on ground. Certainly, a conversation on Nigeria will be held somehow. I don't know whether in my time or in another time. But what you are seeing called Nigeria, we need a redefinition. We need a restructuring, whether we like it, whether we delay it or not. But the point is, we must all be a bit having a meal a day for us to go to the table. For now, without a meal a day,